Meteorologist Casey Cloud back with you here in the Weather Center on this Friday, tracking some more severe weather warnings. I know earlier on we were on for a tornado warning in Duval County. Appears a tornado did touch down there and cause a good bit of damage in the Wardat region. No injuries though reported so far in areas of Jacksonville that were impacted. I know after that we ended up having some other severe thunderstorm warnings popping up as we were looking along the I-95 corridor up into Georgia there, as well as it was kind of the activity was kind of moving up in that general direction with the intense convection. But now we have some new severe thunderstorm warnings here in Florida again and towards some pretty highly populated areas. So let's go ahead and start off in toward Clay, Duval, and St. John's. I know we're talking about, maybe some concern even for that area that was hit by the tornadic activity here a little bit earlier on. So I know during that cleanup process, you just want to remember whenever thunder roars, go indoors. But some of the worst of this action right now there from around Cecil Field down through the Middleburg area. So some pretty heavy rain, gusty winds there at this point in time. So I got to keep that in mind here as we're looking at things. Pretty nasty little bow on this, and the velocities when I was looking a few minutes ago anyway weren't all that impressive, but that's a nasty looking bow, so that seems to indicate that it warrants a severe thunderstorm warning there as we're looking at things, as we're tracking things here, as we're just trying to give you the very latest. I know we'll go down to Marion County now. That's with another severe thunderstorm warning in play. That includes I-75. And that includes areas around Bellevue here as well in our southern portions of our viewing area. So, again, just trying to kind of give you the latest there as things do go on. So, you can see around Shady and Bellevue there, some pretty nasty downpours and lightning there involved in this, making a difficult Friday evening commute there for folks. So, again, I just got to keep that in mind. Or even a flood advisory down there. I know I even saw a flood warning issued for parts of Marion County, I believe, a little bit earlier on. So, just kind of looking at some things down there in the last 12 hours on rainfall. Well, you can see some areas picking up a few inches there as we're getting off toward the west of Bellevue and west of I-75. But then this area here, I mean, that's closer to 4.5 inches there just to the west of Astor Park. So in southwest of Pearson, those areas outside of the region, this is just barely in our area, though, that area of really light red and orange, so quite a bit of precip there. Let me go ahead and say some more here. I'm going to go ahead and get our other radar here ready to go, so we can switch over to that again. Let me go ahead and pop this one up right now. As we kind of get on over here, you can see the velocity is not all that impressive here, but it's just the way this is going. I don't know. I was watching around Laudy here and posted about it, but it's gotten a little bit more organized at points here. I know we had a boundary. It seemed to kind of maybe boost things up a bit. As you can kind of see it right in there, we had things kind of come together there around 5:08 especially, and then the warning coming out a little after that as this moves up into Orange Park and the light there as we're looking lakeside. You kind of get the idea right there toward I-295. So watching this area around into the west of Bellevue, even a little weak rotation right along I-75 there around Shady. I mean, that situation toward Duval seems to have been a one-off earlier with the rotation, but you can't completely rule out some type of quick spin up here. We're not in the greatest spot with radar coverage down here, so there's a little weak rotation. It's nothing overwhelming, so hopefully nothing's down there in terms of like any type of spin that's trying to get down toward the surface. But watching that there on Sadie and Marion County, again, I'm just trying to give you the very latest here. I know. Let me see here if we can pull some traffic cameras up maybe. I'll see what we can do in that regard. Let's see if we want to kind of maybe get an idea on what's going on as I'm going to go ahead and get down toward Marion County. So I know we're looking there south of Ocala on I-75. That's kind of where we want to get here with the overall scenario. So let's kind of get down there now. I know, like maybe west of Bellevue, maybe give us a good look at something. It's just the one-man bands. They kind of have to effort this on the fly here, but let's see if we can get a good angle on some of this convex and some of this activity as the situation does go on here. I know you're going to see the backups. I know they always have traffic issues on I-75, and this Friday commute is no different with all the rain that's been falling. Let me go ahead and stay here toward I-75 northbound at mile marker 340.6. This is looking northwest to be precise, and you see all that traffic back up there, even an ambulance, it looks like there. There'll be some type of accident possibility toward the shoulder there, you know, of that direction of the road toward the median. So again, kind of giving you an idea on what's going on there. You can definitely see it's not a great setup here as we're looking at things. So again, let me go ahead and jump back on over to the Doppler again. I'll see if I can effort some more, maybe a video views of the live scenario as it's ongoing. I mean, I even hear thunder roar out here in Bradford County, but some of that's more for that convection moving away. I know. I'm going to keep looking at things here. Let me see if I can pull up another camera side. It'll be looking maybe more off toward the north, but this is a pretty dark vantage point and things as well. So this is I-75 southbound at mile marker 339.1, looking off toward the north. And you can definitely see it's not looking great out there in northern Marion County with that severe thunderstorm warning in play. I know, just gonna keep on watching things here and tracking the situation. I know we've had some of this rain around today. Let's see, held temperatures in check in places like Gainesville, only getting to 88 for the high today. They picked up over half inch at the Gainesville Airport. Jacksonville Airport got to 94, but they also picked up about a half an inch of rain at that site. So important information to kind of keep in mind in some ways. I mean, at least it's interesting for some of the viewers that are at home. So again, let me go ahead and see where else we want to go with this. I know this probably is getting, well, it depends. I guess at this point, you know, toward that that route that they had there from Middleburg up into Jacksonville, some of the worst of this probably was already over that. Now it's kind of past. They're building more of that road, but wouldn't necessarily have it cambered out there. But I know, I see more lightning now out here, southeast side of Kinsale Lake. So again, just trying to give you the very latest on the situation. Whenever thunder roars, go indoors. I know. Let me see what else we might have here. We have some strong weather, not quite severe in southern Flagler County. Let me go ahead and look at some more information here. Let's go ahead and pull up our camera. I know it'll kind of help us out a little bit here. It's not as bright out as it was earlier. As you can see, the darker skies around as we're looking at the overall situation on this Friday evening. Again, back to the other Doppler perspective. Now, I'm not saying anything that's overwhelming, but I know folks are dealing with that cleanup there from that apparent tornado in toward Duval County earlier on. So you just gotta be aware here of that lightning danger, and just be really careful whenever thunder roars go indoors. I know we had that apparent tornado earlier on there as we were tracking things. Just looking at some of the different reports there, I know, just kind of go over them here. I know there was a tornado. Weather Service says that it was pretty clear with the video earlier on with Duval County Emergency Management reporting an overturned vehicle, and social media reports show video of the flipped vehicle and tornado in contact with the ground. And then just going through more of this here. I know, I'm just kind of reading the latest here in terms of some of those reports from earlier on. I mean, you know, we had some other damage as well there. in toward Jacksonville. Let me kind of go to here now with the radar zoomed in. Let's do that. We'll zoom in here on this radar so you kind of see Jacksonville a little bit better as we're looking here. And I'm just going to kind of look, I know. So then around Arlington, apparently a large tree fell on power lines at Grove Park Boulevard and Catalina Drive. Then power lines down there along the road at Kernan Boulevard and Atlantic Boulevard there in UNF area, Jacksonville. I mean, you know, that's kind of just telling the story. I know it'd be interesting to see the exact path and time of the tornadic activity there. But you don't get those too often this time of year. But it was a situation where it did warn a tornado warning, as it was a tornado in progress there. As we had some boundaries come together, a really micro-scale thing here in the weather world. As I know, this severe thunderstorm warnings continue until 6. The one in Marion's continuing until 6 as well. So, just important to kind of keep in mind there. I know there's even some flooding there in toward Jacksonville a little later on. Didn't have a flash flood warning or anything, but there was an estimated 3 feet of water at Mill Creek Road and Arlington Expressway with vehicles that even got stuck in flood waters there earlier on. So, not what we want to hear. It sounds kind of like a poor drainage area to me, since it seems to have been pretty isolated in nature. As we're kind of just looking at things here, just tracking them. So again, just checking here, detail. Let me take velocity. I know in Western Green Cove there's some wind enhancement now. That's more where it is in Orange Park. Even at this point, it would seem. We still got to be careful, and you still have some of this right around I-75, you know, south side of Ocala, moving out of Ocala towards Shady there. But even around Bellevue, still pretty nasty weather there in Marion County. So again, just trying to give you the very latest here. Let me go ahead and see what else we might have. Gonna see if there's any questions or comments from any of the viewers at home. See what we might have there. Looks like somebody watching here. I just thanks so much for tuning in here on this Friday evening. I'm meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center. So again, just trying to let you know what's going on. I know we do want to kind of look at something else here. I'm going to get it together while we're on the air with this, because you may be hearing the new news of a new tropical system out there in the Atlantic Basin. So let me get that together here so we can kind of show that to you, because we do have a track from the Hurricane Center, and that system is expected to become Beryl, and it's expected to become a hurricane here. Right now, it's not a situation where we need to be too concerned around our area, though, or even the southeastern U.S. Now, if anything changes with that, I'll be sure to let you know. Don't worry in that regard, though, as we're looking at things like over toward the weekend and the like. So, what I want to touch on here is that information that just is coming in. So I do have that up on our other source now. So let me go ahead and we'll kind of take that full, as we'll get back to the ongoing severe weather as is warranted. But we have a tropical depression out there that's expected to become a Category 2 hurricane. Now you see where this is. So we're down in the Caribbean here, and then this is toward Monday and Tuesday. Now I'm looking here. Puerto Rico's not quite in the cone of concern, but they need to watch it, because things can still wobble around on us here. I know. They'll be watching around Jamaica there and Cuba and the like. We'll continue to watch. But right now, it would seem, and this is really, you know, kind of out there in terms of the timing, but the Yucatan Peninsula would seem to kind of be where we'd be a little more concerned as we watch this later on. But we'll let you know here how things go. Again, right now we're kind of on the edge of the science. I mean, even getting out that far. So, again, we'll have to pay attention. But right now I'm not too terribly concerned. I mean, it's just so far out there in terms of the time of the situation and the like. So, Let me put on our infrared satellite. Let me go to our infrared and our full view here so you can see what's kind of going on there right now. And it looks pretty, you know, strong for a tropical depression, quite honestly, with that convection there, as we're looking toward that system. So it's probably going to be on its way here pretty quick to evolving. I know we've been in our ongoing severe coverage today, so I haven't had a big chance to get right through our models here. You know, the global models and the like. So I'm going to actually do that while we're on here live with you, just so I can give you the very latest, since we'll get back to our warnings. Obviously, if we get like a tornado warning in our area, we'll move away from this. Jump straight to that. But I just want to kind of look at some of these myself here while I'm talking, so I kind of make sure I give you the very latest. So yeah, it looks like the GFS is getting very powerful very quickly. I mean, by Monday, you know, morning, maybe, you know, pressured in the 960s, which is a, you know, formidable hurricane. And then it kind of has it falling apart there as it gets closer toward the Dominican Republic and Haiti there, and just completely falling apart into nothing. And then there might be another system out there that we'll have to watch, and then there might be some type of remnants of that, which we'll have to maybe look at later on down the line, as we get maybe closer, possibly, here toward the U.S., but I don't see a whole bunch, honestly, on that, as things really fall apart. I mean, it kind of says something maybe in the second week of July there, up toward the Carolinas, but again, it's way far out there, to be quite honest, because, you know, if it didn't go to the right spot there, depending on the size of this, if it's a smaller system, which it kind of looks like it might be, just looking at this at first glance here, because I mean, I'll go in here on our forecast. I mean, the wind radius forecast, I mean, 180 for tropical force is not really that, you know, big. It's not, you've seen smaller, but in the hurricane winds about 70 or 80 away from the center, maybe, at least west to east. Just measuring it kind of on the fly there. I know, just kind of a situation here where it's not going to be that big of a system, maybe, so it would be more prone to quicker changes. So we'll just kind of watch that here. We'll just monitor it. I know that means if it were to go right over a mountainous area in Hispaniola, that's kind of the storyline there, then it would weaken off really quick. But then if it were to, you know, maybe go around that, then you'd have to find out, watch out where it might go up beyond that point. So we'll pay attention, of course, for you here. Just kind of looking at things. I know the Euro model has it going more southerly, and it just kind of goes into Yucatan and then goes into Mexico later on. So, and it's not showing any type of real threat there as we're getting closer toward our area. So, or anywhere in Florida even. So it's not something that's too concerning right now. But we'll watch it. I'd watch even a little more closely in Puerto Rico, just because of where they are at in proximity. But even them, they're not in the cone of concern right now. About 180 miles south of them is where the center may go at this point. So that's kind of the storyline there. You can see the thunderstorm action here in our state today, no radar over that, and you can definitely see a lot of convection here. And you see that severe thunderstorm warning for Clay Duval and St. John's has been canceled now by the Weather Service. That's kind of one reason I was feeling a little more comfortable just seeing the weakening trend. More comfortable switching over to the tropics for a minute. So again, let's go ahead and zoom into that though. So still some lightning. Still be careful whenever thunder roars go indoors, but no longer severe there as we're looking. Penny Farms, Green Cove Springs, Russell, Fruit Cove, Orange Park. But then this is still considered officially severe in Marion until 6 o'clock. I know it's kind of further away from some radar coverage, so it might kind of lead to less confidence here in exactly what the winds are down toward the surface. I know this here, you can kind of see the winds a little bit better. And they're looking only on the order of maybe 40 miles an hour or so, moving around Green Cove. But then as we get here around Bellevue, Silver Spring, Sword, it's kind of ambiguous here. It's uncertain exactly how strong the winds are, because the radar cover didn't great down there. So we're not really sure how strong the winds are down toward the surface. But, you know, one thing else, I'm kind of blending my words together there, but another thing that's worth touching on here, is the power outage situation toward parts of Duval County, because that tornadic activity earlier and that storminess, there is a good number of folks still in the dark. So that's something that, is worth noting, obviously. Now, keep in mind, this was not as strong. I know it's going to be confirmed officially by the Weather Service, but looking at the damage images that I've seen so far, this was not as strong as the tornadoes in Tallahassee. But it's still damaging, no doubt. But the power outage numbers aren't near that high or anything like that. But it's still pretty significant summertime tornado in Jacksonville here. They get that developing with the way the boundaries came together. So it's still very much worth noting. Still a pretty big deal, but nothing to that level we saw in May there toward Tallahassee. As you kind of putting things in perspective there. I mean, that was a high-end event that, we'll be talking about for decades in Tallahassee, to be quite honest. That was more of a organized severe event. This was more of an isolated thing here, where it was just more random in nature. So I know this, honestly, I mean, I think damage from this might have been more, but I remember going back 10, 15 years ago, we had that water spout on the St. John's that garnered so much attention there, with a number of tornado warnings right during the evening news cycle. So this has happened before. That was on Friday as well, by the way. But that was on camera, so that garnered a lot of attention. But this might have actually done more damage, but it wasn't a whole bunch of damage. So looking toward Duval County, looking at JEA there, looking at the latest numbers. JEA's outage map reporting system right now, trying to give me an indication of just how many folks are in the dark there. They have a very wide electric footprint there as we're looking in toward that area of the First Coast. So again, just giving you the latest there on what's going on. 4,722 customers in the dark right now in toward Duval County. So it's a good number that are in the dark there. That's for sure. I mean, a few hours after that event, 3.5 hours or so after. So that's still worth noting. The cleanup continues there. And then as we get back down into Marion County, you can see around Bellevue quite a bit of lightning. Again, whenever thunder roars, you want to go indoors. But then we had some damage and wind still in there. Not out of the question. So something to kind of keep in mind there in parts of Marion County. Again, Shady, Bellevue. I mean, this is going to be kind of right there around Bellevue. Again, we don't have a lot of confidence in how strong the winds are down there because, quite honestly, we're not able to get a very good radar perspective. I know the Tampa radar might be. Let's see, that's 9,000 feet. You want to get as low as you can without being too low to measure the wind. It's about the same, maybe just slightly closer off the Tampa radar. So let's use that as we're looking at things down there. You have quite a bit of lightning, but the winds don't look crazy there. But still be careful on Bellevue. Yeah, still be careful. I feel like this is weakened a little. Let's kind of loop this back. Yeah, you see the purples. Even in that last frame, I was hoping we can go back a little further. But I guess the way we're switching radar, they won't let me do that right now. There's been some data issues there lately with the Weather Service too. But some of these different sources. But yeah, it looks like it may be weakening just a little bit there. Which would be some good news, and if that trend continues, we'll wrap coverage here soon. But we may give it just a little bit more time to make sure things don't ramp back up on us. I know, just kind of trying to give you the latest here. So Marion County, Paradise.us only has 250 customers in the dark there, but of course this is an ongoing situation, so things could fluctuate. So again, just gonna continue to track things here. I think I'll wrap it here in just a second, though. Again, we're watching things. I know nationally, severe weather-wise, there's some warnings and thunderstorm warnings, at least in Colorado. And we'll go ahead and go to a broad view. You see a couple blue circle areas. There's no watches yet, but do have the potential for some watches here. So maybe weather watches here in play as we're looking. I know, even some tornadic activity can't be ruled out. So gonna have to kind of be mindful of that. 40% chance of some watches being issued. You see a little bit greater tornado threat around Kansas City there. And, I mean, Topeka probably in here. It is. You can see them. St. Joseph is in there as well. So, again, kind of towing that weather story there. Trying to give you that latest detail on the situation. So, again, we still have the one warning there in Marion County. Accent toward Clay County's weakened on off a bit. It's still pretty strong, though. But it's weakened off a bit. Let's go ahead and look here at velocity there. South of Green Cove Springs, south of Penny Farms. Got some weak rotation in there. We'll watch it. We'll track it. Try to give you the very latest. And then we'll just be here as necessary on all of that. Don't have any new warning though. A 40-mile-an-hour gust of possibility there. Flagler, you have some wind enhancement west of Corona. That may get an advisory down there. We had an advisory down there, but that may get another one. The way that's kind of ramping up there. Moving toward I-95, so just keep that in mind. I mean, first it's going to be moving toward US 1 though. And then as we go to Marion, let me see if our system yet takes us to the Tampa, since it is closer in their mind here, the mind of our system, I should say, as well. So again, just continuing to watch here around Bellevue. It looks like it's weakening some, so I'm going to relax coverage for now, but still be careful because we're kind of on the edge of the radar. So it may be a little bit stronger than it appears here. Just be safe out there as we're looking toward that area. I know, I'm going to just continue to track things. I'll be back here as necessary. But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for now. If we just need to post warnings like we did for a few of them in Georgia earlier on, yeah, we'll do that. I know as we were tracking things there earlier on, didn't pop on for those, but just certain severe thunderstorm warnings need to be on for based on some different things that we see here. And then obviously we're on for that tornado warning right when that thunderstorm warning coverage was starting to commence. That's when that tornado warning got issued. I saw the rotation there. They're starting to get concerned about that. Actually, two different areas of rotation. So definitely seeing some concern there. So that's why we were making sure we're popping on for that. Another thing I'm noticing in Marion, it looks like the lighting's kind of maybe lessening there. It looks like there's less lighting there than there was. That'd be another sign of some decay there. Still could be dangerous, don't get me wrong, but that would seemingly be another sign of some weakening there. So that'd be some good news as we're looking at things in that regard in parts of Marion County. So again, just trying to let you know they are gonna expire that warning for Marion coming on up. So that's the good news. If we need to pop back in, we will. Otherwise, thanks so much for tuning in, trusting me. I'm meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center. Stay safe out there, everybody, as we're looking at things on this Friday, June 28th, 2024.